a Grammy winner and a music icon. Give it up for the one and only Seal!
At 62, Seal just made a confession that's leaving fans speechless. After years of staying quiet about his most famous relationship, he's finally said what many wondered all along. But what exactly did he reveal, and why now? Stay with us as we uncover the full story behind Seal's surprising admission. Two worlds collide. Seal was born Seal Henry Olusegun Olumide Adeola Samuel on February 19, 1963, in London, England. His early life wasn't easy. He grew up in inner-city London in a working-class family and had a difficult childhood. He also suffered from a medical condition called discoid lupus erythematosus, which left scars on his face, something he would later become widely recognized for. Seal's path to success in music was not smooth at first. He worked various jobs, including designing leather clothing and electrical engineering, while trying to break into the music industry. His breakthrough came in the early 1990s when he collaborated with the electronic group Adamski on the hit song Killer. The song topped the charts in the UK and introduced Seal's unique, powerful voice to the world. After that, Seal released his self-titled debut album in 1991, which included the popular song Crazy. His soulful voice, combined with emotional and melodic songwriting, made him stand out in the music world. But his biggest success came in 1994 with the release of Kiss from a Rose, a hauntingly beautiful ballad that gained worldwide fame after being featured on the Batman Forever movie soundtrack. The song won 3 Grammy Awards, including Record of the Year and Song of the Year. It became Seal's signature song and cemented his place in the music industry. Heidi Klum was born on June 1, 1973, in Bergisch Gladbach, a small town near Cologne, Germany. Her entry into the world of modeling happened almost by accident. When she was just 18 years old, her friend encouraged her to enter a national modeling competition called Model 92. Out of 25,000 contestants, Heidi won. That victory earned her a contract worth $300,000 with a modeling agency in New York. But like many young models trying to break into the industry, success didn't happen overnight. Heidi spent years working in different cities, slowly building her name in Europe before eventually making the move to the United States. Her big break came when she landed a feature on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue in 1998. That single cover changed everything. Suddenly, Heidi Klum was not just another model, she was a global name. Around the same time, she also became one of the most famous faces of Victoria's Secret, one of the world's biggest lingerie brands. Being a Victoria's Secret angel turned her into a supermodel, walking on their famous runways and appearing in high-profile ad campaigns. But Heidi didn't stop at just modeling. She wanted to do more. In 2004, she became the host and executive producer of Project Runway, a reality competition show for fashion designers. The show was a massive hit and introduced Heidi to a whole new audience, especially in America. Project Runway ran for many seasons and won several awards, including Emmys. By this time, Heidi wasn't just a supermodel, she was a TV star, businesswoman, and brand of her own. By the time Seal met Heidi Klum, he was already an established artist with a reputation for emotional, soulful performances. He was known for being a private person, mostly keeping his personal life away from media attention. 2 stars, one from fashion and one from music, rising from humble beginnings to global fame, it was only a matter of time before their worlds collided. Next up, we'll dive into the story of how these two famous lives first crossed paths. The first encounter. Heidi Klum and Seal's first meeting happened in 2004, and like many famous love stories, it began in an unexpected way. They met at the lobby of the Mercer Hotel in New York City, not London, as is often misreported. Heidi was sitting in the lobby when Seal walked in. It wasn't a fancy party or a setup by mutual friends. It was simply a random crossing of paths that would change both of their lives. At the time, Heidi Klum was already pregnant with her first child. The father of that child was Italian businessman Flavio Briatore, a man she had recently broken up with. Heidi was not looking for a new relationship, especially not while preparing to become a single mother. But when she saw Seal walk into that hotel lobby, something clicked. Heidi later said that Seal walked in wearing tight bicycle shorts, fresh from the gym, and his presence immediately caught her attention. She remembered being drawn to his confidence and the way he carried himself. Seal had his own version of that day. In interviews years later, Seal described seeing Heidi sitting there and being struck by her beauty. He admitted that it wasn't just her looks. He said there was something about her energy that made him want to get to know her. Seal also knew that she was pregnant, but it didn't seem to matter. He said that meeting her felt natural, like they were supposed to cross paths at that moment. One interesting thing about their first encounter is how differently they described it in later interviews. Heidi talked about Seal's appearance first, the bicycle shorts, his muscles, and his striking features. It was a very visual memory for her. Seal, on the other hand, focused more on the emotional connection he felt when he saw her. He didn't talk about her appearance as much as he talked about feeling something strong between them right away. These differences in how they remembered the moment showed how each of them experienced the meeting in their own way. As soon as news of their relationship broke, it made headlines around the world. The media couldn't get enough of the story. A supermodel expecting a child with another man, now dating an award-winning singer. People were curious about how it would all work out. Would Seal step into the role of father? Was this just a temporary romance or something more serious? Romance in the spotlight. After that first meeting at the hotel, Heidi Klum and Seal's relationship moved quickly. It wasn't long before they were seen together in public, making appearances at red carpet events, charity functions, and award shows. From the very beginning, they looked like a perfect match. Heidi, the glamorous supermodel with a big smile, and Seal, the soulful musician with a powerful presence. The media loved them. They were beautiful, successful, and seemed genuinely happy together. Everywhere they went, cameras followed. They became one of Hollywood's favorite couples almost overnight. One of the biggest things that made their relationship stand out was how Seal handled Heidi's pregnancy. At that time, Heidi was expecting a child with her ex-boyfriend Flavio Briatore, a well-known Italian businessman. Flavio was not involved in the pregnancy, and Heidi was preparing to raise the baby on her own. Seal, however, didn't hesitate to step up. Even before the baby was born, he was there by Heidi's side. In May 2004, Heidi gave birth to her daughter, Helene Leni Boshoven Klum. Seal was present at the birth even though biologically he wasn't the father. Over time, Seal took on the role of Leni's father in every way that mattered. In 2009, he officially adopted Leni, and her last name was legally changed to Samuel, Seal's legal surname. This was a major step that showed his commitment to Heidi and her child. Heidi often spoke publicly about how grateful she was for Seal's love and support. In interviews, she described him as incredible and praised the way he embraced fatherhood. She said it wasn't something she asked him to do, it was something he chose on his own, from his heart. Seal, too, made statements about HDO. Important family was to him, saying that Leni was his daughter in every way that mattered. Their relationship wasn't just about private family moments. It was filled with grand romantic gestures. One of the biggest was Seal's proposal to Heidi. In December 2004, Seal planned a breathtaking proposal at a glacier in British Columbia, Canada. He took Heidi to a specially built igloo on top of the glacier, complete with candles, flowers, and a roaring fire. There, he got down on one knee and asked her to marry him. Heidi later described it as magical, saying it felt like something out of a dream. The story of the proposal spread quickly in entertainment news, adding to their growing status as one of Hollywood's favorite love stories. Just 5 months later, in May 2005, Seal and Heidi got married. The wedding took place on a beach in Costa Corrientes, Mexico, in a private but elegant ceremony. Close friends and family attended, but the event was kept low-key by celebrity standards. Even though it was a small gathering, the media was all over it. Photos of the newlyweds smiling and walking hand in hand along the beach were published everywhere. The media couldn't get enough of their love story. Between the adoption of Leni, the romantic proposal, and their fairy tale wedding, Seal and Heidi quickly became the couple everyone wanted to read about. But as perfect as things seemed on the outside, not everything in their marriage stayed picture perfect. Vows, love, or PR. One of the things that made Heidi Klum and Seal stand out as a celebrity couple was their yearly tradition of renewing their wedding vows. Every year on their anniversary, They would gather their close friends and family to celebrate their love all over again. It wasn't just a simple dinner or party, it was a full wedding ceremony, repeated every single year. These celebrations became one of the couple's most famous traditions and were often covered by the media. The location was almost always the same: Costa Corrales, Mexico. This private, beautiful spot on the Pacific coast had been the place where they first tied the knot in 2005, and they kept going back each year. Each renewal ceremony was unique, often featuring fun themes. Some years they dressed in costumes, other years it was formal. Heidi once described how much fun it was to dress up differently every time, making each ceremony special and memorable for their family. While many people thought it was romantic, others started to question it. As the vow renewals continued every year, some media outlets and commentators began to wonder if the tradition was really about love, or if it was partly for attention. Celebrity magazines debated whether it was sincere or just another way for a famous couple to stay in the spotlight. The fact that they often shared pictures or details with the press made some people suspicious. Inside family life. During their years together, one of the biggest parts of Heidi Klum and Seal's relationship was their family. Together, they raised 4 children, creating a blended and busy household that often made headlines. Their first child as a couple was not Seal's biological daughter, but he raised her as his own. Helene Leni Boschhoven Klum was born on May 4, 2004, while Heidi was still dating Flavio Briatore. Flavio was not part of Leni's life, and Seal stepped in as her father. In 2009, Seal officially adopted Leni, and her last name was changed to Samuel, which showed how serious he was about making her a part of his life. After Leni, Heidi and Seal had 3 biological children together. Their first son, Henry Gunther Adamola-2 Samuel, was born in September 2005. Next came their second son, Johann Riley Fyodor Taiwo Samuel, born in November 2006. Finally, their youngest, a daughter named Lou Sulola Samuel, was born in October 2009. By the time Lou was born, the couple was seen by the public as having a complete happy family. Seal often spoke about being a father with real passion. In interviews, he described fatherhood as his most important role. He said that his life was not just about music anymore, it was about raising his kids. Seal was often seen with the children in public, whether they were going to school, playing at the park, or attending events with Heidi. He made it clear that being a dad was at the center of his world. The family dynamic was especially interesting because of Leni. Even though Seal wasn't her biological father, the bond they shared was clear. Heidi often praised Seal for stepping into that role without hesitation. She said that it showed his true character, calling him a wonderful father figure who loved all of their children equally. Balancing careers with family life wasn't easy for them. Heidi's career as a model and TV host was thriving, especially with the success of Project Runway, which first aired in 2004. The show quickly became one of the biggest fashion reality shows on TV, and Heidi's role as host and producer earned her both fame and awards. Meanwhile, Seal continued touring and releasing music. They were often traveling for work, making it harder to spend every day together as a family. Even though they were seen as a strong couple, tabloids sometimes reported that there were cracks behind the scenes. Some stories mentioned arguments, long periods apart, and the challenges of balancing fame with family life. Still, in public, they presented a united, loving front with their children by their side. Trouble behind closed doors. For a long time, Heidi Klum and Seal seemed like the perfect couple. Their love story, beautiful family, and yearly vow renewals made them look like one of Hollywood's strongest marriages. But by the end of 2011, cracks in that image started to show. The first real signs of trouble began quietly, but it didn't take long before the media noticed something was off. In late 2011, several entertainment news outlets started reporting that Heidi and Seal were having problems behind the scenes. Tabloids like Us Weekly and People ran stories about tension between the two. There were reports of fights happening both in private and occasionally in public. While they still appeared together at some events, their public outings as a family became less frequent. The couple, who used to walk red carpets hand in hand, started showing up separately to major events. Paparazzi photos also showed them spending more time apart. One of the biggest issues seemed to be the differences in their personalities and lifestyles. Heidi had always been very comfortable in the spotlight. Her work on Project Runway made her a household name on television, and she often gave interviews about her career, fashion, and family life. Seal, on the other hand, preferred more privacy. As a musician, he gave fewer interviews and didn't like the constant attention from paparazzi. This clash in how they handled fame reportedly caused tension between them. Seal would later say in interviews that he found the media attention frustrating, especially when it affected their children. Rumors of deeper problems started to surface. There were reports from anonymous sources claiming that Seal's temper was becoming a serious issue at home. Tabloid stories suggested that while Seal loved his family, he could be quick to anger. Some sources even claimed that his temper contributed to fights between him and Heidi. Neither Heidi nor Seal openly confirmed these reports at the time, but friends and people close to them did speak to major publications. People magazine published a report quoting friends of the couple who said that their fights were not uncommon and that life at home was often tense. Some sources claimed that Seal's busy touring schedule and Heidi's career commitments pulled them in different directions, creating more stress in their relationship. There were also whispers of infidelity, though nothing was ever publicly confirmed by either of them. By early 2012, the combination of career pressures, personality clashes, and personal disagreements made it clear that the relationship was under serious strain. What once looked like a storybook romance was starting to come apart, piece by piece. The split begins. After months of rumors and quiet tension, Heidi Klum and Seal officially announced their separation in January 2012. The news shocked fans and the media, especially because they had built an image of being one of Hollywood's most loving and stable couples. The announcement came in the form of a carefully worded joint statement released to People magazine. In the statement, they said they had decided to separate after much soul-searching, and they emphasized that they still loved and respected each other. They made it clear that their priority was their children, saying they wanted to continue raising them together, even if they were no longer a couple. They also stressed that it was an amicable split, and they asked the public to give them privacy. On the surface, it seemed like a calm, respectful ending to a long relationship. But it didn't take long before that image of peace and respect began to fall apart. Just a few months after the announcement, Seal made headlines with a sharp comment during a run-in with paparazzi. In August 2012, Seal told a reporter that he wished Heidi would have at least waited until they separated before deciding to fornicate with the help. The help he referred to was Martin Kristen, Heidi's longtime bodyguard, who by then was rumored to be romantically involved with her. Seal's comment was a clear contradiction of the friendly tone from their earlier joint statement. Even though Seal later tried to clarify that he wasn't accusing Heidi of cheating during their marriage, the damage was done. The media quickly picked up the story, and the separation, which had seemed respectful at first, suddenly looked messy and bitter. As for the legal process, Heidi filed for divorce in April 2012, officially citing irreconcilable differences. The process of ending the marriage took some time. Part of that was because they had 4 children to consider, and they also had significant assets between them, including homes and other property. Eventually, the divorce was finalized in 2014. When it came to custody, Heidi and Seal agreed on joint legal custody, meaning they would both be involved in making important decisions for the children. However, the kids primarily lived with Heidi, especially as her career kept her based in Los Angeles. There weren't many reports of major fights over money, and it seemed like both sides wanted to keep things as private as possible for the sake of their family. The public and media reaction to the divorce was a mix of sympathy, surprise, and judgment. Many fans were disappointed, having believed in the fairy tale image that Heidi and Seal had built over the years. Seal's comment about the help didn't sit well with everyone and caused some damage to his usually calm and soulful public image. It painted him, in some eyes, as bitter and angry, while Heidi remained largely silent and focused on her children. Assault allegations surface. In early 2018, Seal found himself at the center of controversy when an actress named Tracy Birdsall accused him of misconduct. Although the alleged incident happened in 2016, it wasn't until the height of the Me Too movement that the story came to light. Tracy Birdsall, who said she was a neighbor of Seal's in Los Angeles, claimed that he acted inappropriately toward her during a visit to his home. According to Birdsall's account, she went to Seal's house to retrieve a salad spinner she had lent him. She said that when she arrived, Seal began commenting negatively on what she was wearing, suggesting she was asking for it. She claimed that he then tried to forcibly kiss her and touched her inappropriately. Birdsall also alleged that when she rejected his advances, Seal mocked her, making dismissive and insulting remarks. She described feeling shocked and violated by the encounter. Once these accusations became public, Seal strongly denied that he had done anything wrong. Through his representatives, Seal released an official statement where he vehemently denied the allegations. His team made it clear that he fully intended to cooperate with any investigation. They also suggested that the timing of the accusation was suspicious, given that Seal had recently made public comments criticizing some elements of the Hollywood elite during the Me Too movement. The situation quickly became more serious when the Los Angeles Police Department confirmed that they were actively investigating the claims. Birdsall gave an official statement to the police, leading to a formal investigation into the alleged incident. Seal's representatives continued to insist that he would fully cooperate and that he had nothing to hide. As the investigation moved forward, it didn't generate the same level of media attention as other high-profile cases in the Me Too era. After reviewing the evidence and testimony, the LAPD eventually closed the case without filing any charges against Seal. The authorities said there was not enough evidence to proceed with a criminal case, leaving the matter officially unresolved but legally closed. While Seal avoided legal charges, the accusations created a lasting dent in his public image. What had once been seen as a soulful, romantic artist was now overshadowed by controversy and doubt. Life after divorce. After their divorce, both Heidi Klum and Seal moved on with their lives, although they followed very different paths in the public eye. Heidi, always comfortable with the spotlight, quickly became a regular in celebrity news thanks to her relationships, career success, and her growing family. Not long after the separation, Heidi was romantically linked to her former bodyguard, Martin Kristen, the same person Seal had referred to during that now famous comment about fornication with the help. Heidi confirmed the relationship publicly later in 2012. Their relationship lasted for about a year and a half before they eventually broke up in early 2014. After Martin, Heidi dated art dealer Vito Schnabel for about 3 years, from 2014 to 2017. By 2018, Heidi began dating Tom Kaulitz, a German musician and member of the band Tokyo Hotel. Their relationship moved quickly, and by 2019, Heidi and Tom were married. They tied the knot in a private ceremony followed by a larger celebration on a yacht off the coast of Capri, Italy. Heidi often shares photos of their life together on social media, and by all public accounts, their marriage seems strong and supportive. Seal, on the other hand, took a much quieter path after the divorce. His music career slowed down in terms of mainstream attention, although he continued performing and making occasional TV appearances, including as a coach on The Voice Australia. Compared to Heidi, Seal kept his personal life much more private. While there were occasional rumors of him dating different women, he didn't go public with any serious long-term relationships the way Heidi did. When it came to co-parenting, both Heidi and Seal spoke publicly about their efforts to raise their children in a positive, balanced environment. Seal mentioned in interviews that although their marriage didn't last, they still worked together to give their kids love and stability. Heidi also gave similar comments in interviews, showing that while things had been rocky during their breakup, they were committed to their children's well-being. A special focus in recent years has been Seal's relationship with Lenny. As Lenny entered the world of modeling, following in her mother's footsteps, she publicly spoke about Seal being her dad, despite not being her biological father. Seal also praised Lenny, expressing pride in who she had become as a young woman. Reunion moments and recent headlines. Since their divorce, Heidi Klum and Seal have kept their relationship mostly private, but there have been a few moments where they came together publicly, showing that despite everything, they remain connected through their children. One of the most talked about reunion moments happened in 2022, when Seal walked Lenny down the runway during a fashion show in Milan. This was a powerful and emotional moment for many fans because it symbolized the strong bond between Seal and Lenny, even though he is not her biological father. The event was significant because it showed Seal fully supporting Lenny as she launched her modeling career, much like Heidi had done years earlier. Fans and media praised the moment for showing a modern blended family supporting one another. Since then, Heidi and Seal have made only a few rare joint appearances at events, usually when they are supporting their children. They understand the importance of being present together for their kids, even if they live separate lives. These appearances tend to be low-key, avoiding drama and focusing on family. Seal has spoken openly about co-parenting, emphasizing the importance of putting their children first. He often says that despite their past difficulties, he and Heidi work hard to maintain respect and cooperation for the sake of their family. He describes co-parenting as a priority and something they take seriously, even if they don't spend much time together socially. Heidi, too, has shared her thoughts on their blended family life. She highlights the challenges of balancing careers, relationships, and parenting, but stresses that their children are the main focus. Heidi often mentions how important it is for the family to support one another, no matter what their individual situations are. She seems to appreciate the stable co-parenting arrangement she and Seal have maintained. Today, their relationship can best be described as amicable but distant. They are no longer a couple, and they don't spend time together as friends might, but there's a mutual respect and understanding between them. Their shared love for their children keeps them connected and cooperative, even as they lead separate lives. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss more on the biggest celebrity stories.